With the release of the Nintendo Switch 2, one of the greatest games of all time just got even better. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild finally runs at 4K resolution with a buttery smooth 60 FPS. And even after playing over 500 hours of this epic masterpiece, I found myself hooked again. So whether you've mastered the art of shield surfing, or this is your first time playing, buckle up. We're covering everything you need to know, from shrines, secrets, boss battles, Koroks, and more. So slow down and don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss IGN's ultimate guide for Breath of the Wild. Presented by NHTSA. Speeding catches up with you. Continue watching at your own risk, as we're about to dive into some of the game's endgame puzzles. To start off, let's go over some general tips that should be helpful for first-time players picking up the game. With a world as expansive as Hyrule, it's easy to get overwhelmed, but that's why it's a great idea to plan a route. You could follow the main mission quest markers to different objectives, or fill out the map in each area of the world by heading to the Sheikah towers early on. Whatever route you plan for yourself though, don't feel forced to stick to it. Exploration is one of the things that makes this game so special. So make sure your planned route is open to stopping along the way if you find something of interest. As you explore, if you find a shrine, make sure to activate it. Even if you don't intend on completing its trial right away, it can still serve as a fast travel point to come back to later. As you explore villages and stables, keep an eye out for characters with red exclamation points near their dialogue bubbles. This indicator means they have a side quest for you to do, so you'll definitely want to talk to them and add them to your quest tracker. One thing I would highly recommend doing early in the game is upgrading your Sheikah slate, specifically to get the enhanced tracker. This upgrade is a lifesaver if you're ever looking for more than just shrines as you explore Hyrule. To get it, head to Purah's lab just outside Hateno village. She'll task you with carrying the blue flame from the ancient furnace down by the village up to her lab. So equip a torch, carrying the flame up to the lab. Stop off at any unlit lanterns along the way to deposit the flame. If it's raining, you'll need to wait for the weather to clear up. After lighting the furnace outside the lab, talk to Parry again and you'll unlock more features for your Sheikah slate, including the camera app and compendium. Then, Parry will have a new little quest for you, called Slated for Upgrades, where you'll be tasked to bring her 3 ancient screws to upgrade the Sheikah sensor. You can obtain these screws from Guardians, including the immobile remains of Guardians found in the environment. To use the enhanced tracker, use the camera app to take a picture of an item or creature to add it to your Hyrule compendium. Once it's in the compendium, you can set the tracker to search for specific items and materials. As you complete shrines and get spirit orbs on your adventure to upgrade Link's stats, I would suggest focusing on upgrading stamina before health. You can make meals to add extra health, which may feel more useful in the long run compared to temporary extra stamina. But if you ever need to change your upgrades, you can visit the statue in Hateno village to exchange your heart containers and stamina vessels for a small fee. Speaking of Hateno village, another big piece of advice is to buy this house. This not only gives Link a home that could be upgraded, with the final touches being full furnishing, but it also begins Hudson's big side quest to build Tarrey Town up in the Akala region, and that's one of the game's biggest side quests, so make sure to follow up with it in that region. Next, let's talk about cooking and food, going over some of the best meals you can make, and where to find their ingredients. There are 10 different types of buffs you can get from food. Hardy, to give temporary extra hearts, Enduring, to give temporary bonus stamina, Energizing, to restore your stamina, Chili, to boost heat resistance, Spicy, to boost cold resistance, Electro, to boost electricity resistance, Hasty, to boost movement speed, Sneaky, to boost stealth, Mighty, to boost attack power, and Tough, to boost defense. Here are some great examples of great recipes in each category that'll give you some of the best you can get out of them. For the best hearty recipes, cook 1 big hearty radish and 4 hearty radishes to get a hearty fried wild greens, which fully restores HP and adds 17 bonus hearts. You can find these ingredients in the woods behind the wetland stable. Or, Cook 5 Hearty Durians to get a meal that fully restores HP and adds 20 hearts. You can find Hearty Durians in Brona's Forest in the Farron region. For the best enduring recipe, cook 5 Endura carrots to get an enduring fried wild greens, which heals 20 hearts and grants 2 bonus stamina wheels. You can find Endura carrots around the Great Fairy Fountain near Kakariko Village. For the best energizing recipe, cook 5 Staminoka bass, which are found in the waters around Hyrule Field, to get an energizing fish skewer that will completely restore 3 full stamina wheels. For the best chili recipes, cook 5 chill shrooms to get a chili mushroom skewer, which has level 2 heat resistance for 12.5 minutes. Chill shrooms are found in the Hebra Mountains, typically by trees. Or you can cook 4 cold darners and 1 ice keese wing to make a chili elixir, which has a level 2 heat resistance for nearly 12 minutes. Cold darners are found around Hyrule Ridge and the Gerudo Desert, and are sold by Beetle at the Woodland Stable. And ice keese wings are found from defeating Ice Keese. For the best spicy recipe, cook 5 sun shrooms to get a spicy mushroom skewer, which has level 2 cold resistance for 17.5 minutes. Sun shrooms are found around the Foothill Stable, by trees. For the best electro recipe, cook 5 zap shrooms, which are found in the Gerudo Highlands, to get an electro mushroom skewer, with level 3 electricity resistance for 12.5 minutes. For the best hasty recipe, cook 5 fleet lotus seeds, found around the Rutile Lake in Hyrule Ridge, to get a hasty simmered fruit with level 3 speed boost for 5 minutes. For the best sneaky recipe, cook 5 silent princesses, found around Rutile Lake in Hyrule Ridge, to get a sneaky fried wild greens, which grants a level 3 stealth boost for 10 minutes. For the best mighty recipe, cook 5 mighty porgy, which are found in Horon Lagoon, to get a mighty fish skewer, with level 3 attack up for just over 4 minutes. And for the best tough recipe, cook 5 armored porgy, also found in Horon Lagoon, to get a tough fish skewer with level 3 defense up for just over 4 minutes. There were plenty of other recipes in the game, and these were just a few examples that you might find particularly useful, and aren't particularly complex either. I've got one more general gameplay tip that you might find helpful: where to find the best horses. While the best horses might take a lot of practice to find, scouring the world for wild horses to find the ones with the most favorable stats, or simply scanning a Link amiibo to get Epona, there is one in particular that I think is worth highlighting. This horse is tied to the side quest, the Royal White Stallion, which is started at the Outskirts Stable. The horse itself is found south of the Sanandin Park ruins. And its stats are pretty good too. It'll take quite a bit of stamina to tame this horse, so having stamina restoring meals would definitely help. But making sure your stamina wheel is sufficiently upgraded would also be a good idea. If you successfully tame the horse, bring it back to the Outskirts Stable to complete the quest and register it. If you find a horse is fighting your commands while you ride it, make sure to soothe them. And when not mounted, you could also drop a carrot for them, which will also increase their bond with you. Next up, let's take a look at shield surfing. If you hold down ZL to put out your shield, then jump with X, and press A to get on your shield while in the air, you'll surf down slopes. You can press ZR while shield surfing to pull out your bow and fire off arrows, or press X to jump up and glide through the air. This spot in Hebra is the best place to practice, Selmie's spot. Not only because Selmie has a whole minigame here to put your practice to the test, but also because shield surfing won't lower your shield's durability if done in the snow. But on a rocky cliffside, your shield will take quite a bit of damage. So if you ever try to shield surf elsewhere in the world, make sure you have shields to spare. Now, let's move into combat tips. First, let's go over where to find the best weapons and shields. Most of the best weapons, aside from the Master Sword and the Champion weapons, are obtained from enemies. We'll cover how to unlock the Master Sword from the story later in this video. The Champion weapons are obtained after beating each Divine Beast. The best part about these weapons is that if they break, you simply need to speak to a specific NPC in each region, and bring them the necessary materials to get another. Dento for the Light Scale Trident, Rohan for the Boulder Breaker, Hearth for the Great Eagle Bow, and Bellaria for the Champion's Arms. Beyond those, most of the other best weapons are guarded by strong enemies around Hyrule Castle, or obtained from dangerous foes in the world, like Lynels and Hinoxes. The best shield in the game, by far, is the Hylian shield, the iconic shield of the Zelda series. To find the shield, you must defeat the Stalnox inside the lower levels of Hyrule Castle. Head to the smaller island of Castletown Prison, and approach the lockup on the west side of the castle by crossing the moat. Make your way past the stationary guardian, and past the prison cells. At the end of the long hall, you'll find the Stalnox. Focus your attacks on its eye, and you will beat it fairly quickly. Defeat it, and a treasure chest will appear containing the Hylian shield. If for some reason you lose the Hylian shield or it breaks or something, you could buy another for 3,000 rupees from Grante in Terrytown, once you've completed all of Hudson's side quests to complete the town. If you want to improve your abilities in combat, a big tip is to practice your shield parries and flurry rushes with good timing. These are essential skills for any Breath of the Wild player that'll give you the upper hand in any combat encounter. For perfect parries with your shield, the timing is pretty tight, but while holding out your shield with ZL, press the A button to swing the shield. If you do this just before an attack strikes you, you'll land a perfect parry. This is a great move against Guardian lasers, as it obliterates their health. Weaker Guardians are instantly defeated from a single successful parry, while stronger ones are taken out in about 3 of them. Flurry rushes are a bit more generous with timing. While targeting an enemy, if you dodge left or right, or do a backflip, right when the enemy attacks you, you'll enter a flurry rush to deal all sorts of damage to that enemy instead. Additionally, if you pull out your bow while in the air, whether from gliding or from jumping off of a ledge or a horse, you'll enter a similar slow-mo to get the perfect shot with your arrows. But this quickly uses up Link's stamina, so don't take too long to line up the shot. The Barbarian armor set is also great for battling against strong enemies, as it boosts attack power. You can find the pieces of this set from the 3 labyrinths found across Hyrule: the South Lomai Labyrinth, the North Lomai Labyrinth, and Lomai Labyrinth Island. You can also cook meals that enhance your attack or defense power, which definitely helps in battle as well. However, while cooking buffs don't stack, an armor set buff and a cooking buff will stack when used together. So wearing the Barbarian armor set to buff attack power, and eating a meal to buff defense is a pretty good strategy. Now, let's talk about the stronger enemies you'll find across Hyrule, and go over some tips for taking them down. When fighting a stone Talus, your best weapons are your bomb runes and blunt two-handed weapons, like hammers. Use your bombs to blow up the arms of the Talus to weaken it. Once it's weakened, you can climb on top of it and use your two-handed weapon to really strike at its weak point. You can also use arrows to strike at the weak point, which is especially helpful if the spot is too low on the Talus's back to hit it from up top. Bomb arrows are a good idea here. If the Talus is an elemental, you can counter with different elemental arrows as well. Ice arrows on Igneo Talus to cool its flames, or fire arrows to warm up a Frost Talus. It's best to approach a sleeping Hinox stealthily. You can climb onto its hand and get placed on its chest if you're successful. This is a great opportunity to grab the weapons it wears as a necklace. But if this fails, you should be able to grab the items whenever it's stunned and sitting on the ground too. To fight a Hinox, you'll want to aim for its eye using arrows to stun it, in addition to dealing a ton of damage. You would also do well with two-handed weapons that can strike the legs. If they're armored, make sure to use elemental arrows or weapons, like fire arrows to burn wooden armor, or shock arrows on metal armor to electrocute them. Lynels may seem pretty terrifying to fight, and they certainly pack a punch, but if you're ready for what they can do, you could take them on easily. Never fight Lynels from a distance, as you don't want them using their bows against you. Your best weapons are single-handed weapons and a good shield. You'll want to make sure you're targeting the Lynel and holding your shield up to block attacks. If you can time it, parrying their attacks is a great strategy. But perhaps even better is timing a backflip or a dodge to the side to get a flurry rush. As long as you're targeting the Lynel, if you dodge as soon as it begins its swing, you should be able to get your flurry rush in. Lynels have plenty of health, so make sure you have several weapons to go through, as you may find your weapon breaking in combat against them. If you can get close enough to a Lynel during battle, you may even be able to mount it, climbing up on its back and getting even more hits in against it. Whenever a Lynel charges up for a big strike, make sure to flee the immediate surrounding area, or hide behind some terrain, as the Fire Strike is a huge AoE. When it spits fireballs, you should be able to dodge out of the way as well, as long as you keep moving to the sides. Otherwise, increasing your attack and defense will go a long way when battling against a Lynel. Next up, we have a Molduga. There aren't many Molduga out in the Gerudo Desert, but they can be pretty strong enemies. The main strategy is to use your remote bombs when one is around. Try to stand on any nearby solid ground, as the Molduga can only sense movement on the sand. Throw a bomb onto the sand, which should attract it, and detonate it when the Molduga launches it into the air. Then, just wail on the creature while it's weakened, using any of your powerful weapons. When the Molduga starts swimming around, throw another remote bomb, and repeat until the Molduga's health bar is gone. Finally, we have what may be the scariest and most iconic enemy of Breath of the Wild, Guardians. There are different kinds of Guardians, but for the most part, the same strategy applies to defeating all of them. Master your shield parries. If you hold out your shield and parry the Guardian's beam right back at it, you'll reflect a ton of damage to it. Of course, only do this if you're confident in your abilities, as most shields will instantly break from the Guardian's beam. Or worse, your health bar will evaporate. For those not confident in their perfect parries, there are other great strategies. Striking a Guardian's eye with an arrow will hurt it and temporarily stun it as well, which is a good strategy for attacking or running from it. For Guardians with legs, targeting the legs is an effective way to not only damage, but also immobilize it. The Master Sword is a very effective weapon against Guardians, plus it helps that it regenerates with time. You can also get weapons and equipment made to work against Guardians from the Akkala Ancient Tech Lab, but these are pretty expensive, setting you back a lot of Guardian-specific materials as well. The Ancient Arrow is the single best weapon against Guardians, since shooting one into a Guardian's eye will insta-kill them. Moving on, let's talk about some puzzles you might need help with. First up, we have the Lost Woods. To get through the Lost Woods, you'll have to follow the wind's direction. Simply look at the direction the embers of the torches blow, and follow that direction. Eventually, though, the torches will run out, so make sure to bring your own torch and light it. Continue with your lit torch, making sure to stop and check the direction of the wind to follow it. Do this correctly, and you'll eventually end up at Korok Forest. Once you reach Korok Forest, there's another puzzle to solve: how to get the Master Sword. To pull the Master Sword from the pedestal, you'll need 13 hearts. And no, temporary hearts don't count. So if you're lacking in that department, make sure to complete enough shrines to get spirit orbs to trade in for heart containers, or get heart containers on completing Divine Beast dungeons. Once you have 13 hearts, you can successfully pull the Master Sword. Next, let's talk about tips for finding collectibles and 100%ing the game. First up, upgrades. To upgrade your equipment, you'll need the help of the Great Fairies. Find each of the 4 Great Fairies across Hyrule. Here are all of their locations. They require a lot of rupees to open, 11,600 in total. But once you visit all 4 and open them up, they can upgrade Link's equipment to the max level for the highest defense. Each upgrade takes specific materials, so if you're looking to upgrade a specific piece of armor, the Compendium Tracker is your best friend to get that upgrade. To upgrade your inventory, you'll need the help of the Koroks and Hestu. As you collect Korok seeds by finding Koroks, you can exchange them with Hestu to upgrade your inventory slots for weapons, shields, and bows. You'll first find Hestu near Kakariko Village, with a side quest to get his maracas back. Then you can get a few upgrades. After that, he'll move near either Riverside Stable or Woodland Stable. After a few upgrades at these locations, he'll permanently move to Korok Forest for the rest of the game. If you're wondering how to get Link's iconic tunic, there are multiple ways. If you're looking for a Tunic from a different Zelda game, you'll need that particular Link amiibo to scan, and potentially get it as a random drop. But to get Link's Tunic designed for this game, you need to complete all 120 shrines found in the base game. DLC shrines don't count towards that total. By completing all 120 shrines, you'll get the Tunic of the Wild set by the large goddess statue down in the Forgotten Temple. If you have the DLC for Breath of the Wild, there are even more things that you can do. There's the Korok mask, for example, which is great for helping you track down Koroks. When in the Lost Woods, stop at this pair of torches, follow the initial direction the wind is blowing, and continue all the way to this tree, or this point on the map. You'll find a treasure chest in its mouth with the Korok mask inside. The Korok mask shakes and makes sounds when Link is near a hidden Korok, making them much easier to track down and find. There are also the Master Trials, which are tough challenges you access by placing the Master Sword back in its pedestal. You have to make use of the resources provided to you to get through each floor, so the combat skills mentioned earlier are essential to make it through. Complete the trials, and you'll get the Master Sword fully powered up, making it a far stronger weapon for most scenarios. I would also recommend completing the Champions Ballad DLC before 100% completing the rest of the game. You can access this DLC after completing the 4 Divine Beasts. It's just much more fun to explore around Hyrule with the Master Cycle when you actually have more to do in the world. Also, who needs a horse when you have a motorcycle? Okay, I'm just about done with the Switch 1 edition, but there's a little more I want to go over with the brand new Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild, Zelda Notes. This is a new section of the Nintendo Switch mobile app dedicated to new features in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. One of the biggest additions found here is the Navigator, which helps you track down what you're missing by displaying it on the map and even offering voice guidance to help you find your way, GPS style.
Proceed southwest and upward.
This is very handy for finding shrines and Koroks, whether you're revisiting the game or starting fresh from a new file. The map updates in real time with your game, so you can see exactly where you are relative to the point you're searching for. There's also exclusive new content with this app, including the voice memories. There are tons to find around the world, and they're easy to locate with the app's navigation system.
When I heard Father announce that the knight chosen by the sword that seals the darkness was Link, I felt anything but calm inside.
And as always, if you need help with 100% completion, or want any further tips with any of these points, including any of the other new features from Zelda Notes in the Switch 2 edition, make sure to check out our in-depth wiki pages. Whether you're trying to grab that one last pesky shrine you missed, or you just wanted a quick refresher on some things, applying these tips at a steady speed will have Lynels reconsidering their life choices in no time. Which tip would you have loved to know in your first playthrough? Let us know down in the comments below. For more on the Nintendo Switch 2 and The Legend of Zelda, keep it locked to IGN.com.